Have you ever wondered why he still remembers her, even after the years have passed, even after the new has faded, even after the silence between them has stretched long and wide? Why is it that some women become unforgettable? Not because they begged to stay, not because they tried to prove their worth, but because their energy lingered, like the scent of rare perfume in an empty room. Quiet, soft, but impossible to ignore. It's not about looks. It's not about doing more. It's not even about being better. It's about the way she made him feel when the rest of the world went quiet. It's the depth, the calm, the grace under pressure, the kind of presence that doesn't demand attention but commands it. She didn't compete. She didn't beg. She knew. She knew who she was, and that's what made her unforgettable. Queens, yes, now I'll say it, because this is the moment you remember who you are. The woman who stops asking, "Why wasn't I enough?" and starts asking, "Why did I ever try to shrink myself for a man who couldn't even hold space for me?" The truth is simple. The women who become irreplaceable never try to be. They choose themselves first. And when you choose yourself, truly and fully, he can feel it. Even if he's not ready to say it out loud, something shifts. You stop chasing. You stop proving. And suddenly, he starts remembering. Think of a rose in a wild field. It doesn't beg to be picked. It blooms in its own time, on its own terms, and the right one. He notices. He stops. He remembers. Because rare things don't scream. They shine. And when a woman becomes that kind of rare, he starts to see every other face and still looks for yours. You weren't born to beg for attention, for effort, for love. You were born to stand in your power. And that's what makes you magnetic. That's what makes you unforgettable. The moment you stop trying to prove you're worthy of staying is the moment he realizes you were never meant to leave. So step into this truth, Queen. This is your time. The time to become the woman he can't replace. Because you never needed to be chosen. You were always the choice. If this message touched your heart, if it reminded you of the power you've been holding in silence, then take a moment, beautiful Queen, and show your love by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. We are working with deep care to bring you the kind of truth, healing, and strength that helps you rise, not just in love, but in life. You deserve content that speaks to your soul, and we're here to deliver it every step of the way. Number 1, he doesn't miss the woman who was always available. He misses the one who made him rise to earn her energy. Have you ever noticed how he only starts to feel your absence when you finally stop giving him your energy? Not when you were always there, not when you answered every call, replied to every message, rearranged your life just to fit into his. No, he starts to feel it the moment you pull back, the moment you stop pouring, the moment you let him feel what it's like to stand in your silence. That's when it hits him. Not because you stopped caring, but because you started requiring something in return. He doesn't miss the woman who made it easy. He misses the one who made him rise, the one who held him to a higher standard, the one who didn't let him walk in and out of her life like a revolving door. A man doesn't value access that's always open. He values what he has to earn. And when you finally stop being the woman who gives endlessly, you start becoming the woman he never forgets. Energy doesn't lie, and real love doesn't beg to be seen. That's the truth he didn't realize when he had you. You were his light, but he treated it like background noise until you turned it off. And now, he's fumbling in the dark, looking for the switch that no longer belongs to him. Think of a fireplace in winter. It warms the room, brings peace, holds the silence in safety. But ignore it long enough, and the flame fades. Then the cold creeps in, and suddenly he feels what he lost. Not just the warmth, but the comfort that only your love ever gave. Queens, yes, now I'll call you that. This is the moment you stop setting yourself on fire to keep a man warm who never even noticed the burn. The more you give without boundaries, the more he forgets the value of what he's receiving. But the moment you become a woman who no longer hands her energy away like loose change, you become unforgettable. He'll remember you not because you stayed, but because you had the strength to walk away with your crown on. Write this in the comments and claim it, queens. My energy is earned, not given away. Let that be the new standard. And if this message awakened something inside you, if it reminded you of your worth, then like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working every day to bring you the kind of content that doesn't just heal you, it crowns you. Number 2, she didn't just listen, she understood. And that's what makes her unforgettable. Have you ever noticed how he remembers the one who didn't just nod while he spoke, but the one who actually felt his silence? The one who heard the things he couldn't say out loud. That's the difference. That's what makes a woman unforgettable. It's not in how much she talks, it's in how deeply she listens, but not just with her ears. She listens with her eyes, her heart, her presence. And that kind of understanding, it stays with him longer than any words ever could. A woman becomes irreplaceable not by trying harder, but by connecting deeper. She reads the room without needing to ask. She notices when he's off, even if he swears he's fine. She doesn't fix him. She doesn't chase him. She just sees him, and that right there is the rarest form of intimacy. He can laugh with many. He can flirt, talk, even feel close to others. But only a few ever reach that hidden part of him. And when one does, he never forgets. Queens, this is the moment to rise. This is the moment you stop questioning what makes you enough. Because your gift isn't in proving you're worthy. Your gift is in how deeply you love without losing yourself. Think of a mirror, a real one, not the kind that flatters or distorts, but the kind that reflects truth. That's what you are. You reflect the soul, not just the smile. And he will compare every interaction after you with that kind of connection. The laughter might be louder, the affection might be faster, but none of it will feel like you. As the great poet Rumi said, the quieter you become, the more you are able to hear. And a woman who hears beyond words, she becomes unforgettable, unshakable, unmatched. He didn't lose just a relationship. He lost a safe place, a soft place, a deep place. But you, lovely woman, you gained yourself. You were never just a listener. You were the understanding his soul didn't know it needed. And now, you are no longer available for shallow connections or surface-level affection. You're rising, so write this in the comments and claim it, queens. I am not just heard, I am deeply felt. We are working hard to bring you real, life-changing truths, because your journey deserves content as powerful as you are. Number 3. He didn't realize the cost of peace until he traded it for chaos. He thought peace was boring. He thought calm meant weakness. He thought the woman who brought stillness into his storm was too predictable, too soft, too stable. So he traded her peace for chaos, for noise, for the rush of temporary excitement. And now, he's waking up to a world that doesn't feel like home. Because the chaos he chased, it doesn't love him like she did. It doesn't ground him. It doesn't heal him. And now, the very thing he once overlooked, her peace, is the one thing he's desperate to feel again. He didn't understand that real peace isn't passive, it's powerful. It's the quiet strength that held him together when his world was falling apart. It's the kind of love that doesn't have to scream to be felt, a rare kind of energy. The kind of woman who doesn't try to control the storm. She is the calm after it. But he traded that for noise, for drama, for illusions that looked fun but never lasted. And now, he's surrounded by everything he thought he wanted and still feels empty. Queens, this is where the shift begins. The moment he walked away, he didn't just lose a relationship. He lost a safe space. He lost clarity. He lost the version of himself that was becoming better because of your presence. And now, while he's out there trying to recreate your peace in chaos, you've already moved on. You've turned that same peace inward. You've made it your power. As Rumi once said, the quieter you become, the more you are able to hear. And now, without your voice, your support, your steady love, all he hears is the echo of what he once had. You see, the most irreplaceable women aren't loud. They don't compete. They don't force. They just are. And once you realize your energy is a gift, not a guarantee, you become unforgettable. You weren't asking for too much, beautiful lady. You were offering exactly what he needed before he knew how to value it. But now, he will learn, not because you said anything, but because your absence became the lesson he never expected to study. So rise. Let him watch you rebuild your peace without him in it. Let him learn in silence what it means to lose the calm he once called home. And if you feel this in your soul, write this in the comments and claim it. My peace is not for the ungrateful. We are working hard to bring you powerful, healing, and life-changing truths, because your energy is not ordinary, it's irreplaceable. Number 4, he thought she was too much until he met less. Have you ever seen a man throw away a diamond because he thought it sparkled too much, only to pick up glass and wonder why it doesn't shine the same? That's exactly what happens when he meets a woman with power, presence, and emotional depth, and calls her too much. He didn't know that what he was really holding was everything he'd later crave. He thought her honesty was too sharp. He thought her love asked for too much. He thought her standards were too high. But what he couldn't see then is that she was the storm and the shelter, all in one. And one day, after chasing less, after settling for comfort with no connection, he will feel it, the ache of missing more. Because real women don't just touch the surface, they touch the spirit. And when he walks away from that kind of woman, it doesn't matter how happy he pretends to be. Sooner or later, he will compare. And the truth will haunt him. She gave him substance, while others only give him safety. She gave him fire and depth. Now he's left with lukewarm smiles and shallow talks. The kind of woman who pushes him to grow, who holds him accountable, who expects his presence to match hers. She's rare, and once she's gone for good. Queens, this is where the shift begins. You are not here to be less just to keep him comfortable. You are not meant to shrink so that he doesn't feel small. A woman like you was never too much. He was just not enough to handle it. Think of a wildfire, too powerful to be tamed, too radiant to be contained. That's you. And when a man can't handle the heat, it's not your job to cool down. It's your sign to rise higher. Let him go find less. Let him pretend that silence is peace, because one day he'll sit in that silence and your name will echo in every quiet moment he tries to fill. So no more apologizing for your energy, no more explaining your passion, no more softening your truth. The woman who owns who she is will always be too much for the man who isn't ready, and yet she'll always be everything for the one who is. Affirm this in the comments, queens. I am not too much. He was never enough. Let it be known that your power is not a burden, it's your crown. And if this message spoke to your soul, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to bring you life-changing truths that remind you who you really are. Number 5. She didn't compete, because queens don't run races. She reigned silently, and that shook his world. Have you ever noticed how quiet confidence can shake the loudest room? How the one who doesn't chase is the one he keeps turning back to? He thought she would fight for his attention. He thought she would compete with the one he chose. But instead of noise, she gave him silence. Instead of jealousy, she gave him distance. Instead of playing the game, she walked off the field. And that's what hit him hardest, because she didn't try to win him. And yet, he couldn't stop thinking about her. He expected a reaction. He expected her to ask, "What does she have that I don't?" But she never did. She wasn't made to run races. She was born to reign. That's what makes her unforgettable. She didn't need to prove her worth, because her worth had already been proven by how she carried herself. That kind of woman doesn't compete. She simply exists as the standard. And the moment he realized no other woman moved like her, loved like her, held herself like her, was the moment he knew he let go of something he could never recreate. Queens, yes. Now I call you that, because now you understand. The woman who doesn't fight for a place in his life is the one who haunts his memory the longest. She stays in his thoughts not because she tried harder, but because she knew better. She walked away with grace, and that grace left a mark on his soul. He'll compare, he'll search, he'll wonder, but he'll never forget the one who didn't need to compete to be unforgettable. Think of the moon. The moon doesn't chase. It doesn't beg the sky to notice. It just shines, calm, distant, majestic. And yet every eye looks up. Every ocean rises to meet it. That is you. Your presence doesn't need to scream. It commands. And once a man feels that kind of energy, he will never feel complete again without it. So, rise, beautiful woman. Do not compete. You are not here to prove. You are here to become. Become so grounded, so powerful, so unbothered that your silence speaks louder than any argument ever could. Repeat this in the comments and claim it. I do not compete. I reign in silence. Let the world know you are done playing small, done chasing love, done proving your worth. We're working hard to bring you the kind of truth that transforms. Because you weren't made to blend in, Queen. You were born to rise. Number 6. He realized too late. He didn't just lose her. He lost the version of himself that felt safest with her. He didn't just lose a woman. He lost his home. Not the one made of walls and windows, but the one made of warmth, patience, and peace. He lost the version of himself that felt the safest, the calmest, the most understood, because that version only came alive in her presence. At the time, he thought walking away meant freedom. He thought silence meant strength. He thought choosing her meant progress. But now, he's staring at his reflection, feeling like a stranger in his own skin, because the part of him that felt truly seen left when she did. Some women don't just love, they heal. She was the mirror that showed him the best parts of who he could become, and he shattered that mirror thinking he'd find another. But mirrors like her, they don't come around twice. And now, his reflection feels hollow because the woman who once gave him depth is no longer standing beside him. Queens, yes, this is your moment to rise into that name. You weren't just love. You were the space he felt like himself, the peace in his chaos, the calm to his fire. And when you walked away, he didn't just lose you. He lost the only version of himself that felt real. That's why you're irreplaceable, not because you tried to be, but because who you are naturally made him better. Some people bring peace wherever they go. Some bring peace when they go. Let that truth sink in. You didn't break him. You didn't fail him. You simply stopped carrying what he was too careless to hold. And now he's feeling the weight of that absence. He will try to find it again, in someone's voice, in someone's body, in someone's laugh, but none of it will feel like home, because home was you. Think of a river that once ran through dry land, giving it life, giving it breath. But the river moved on, and now the land is left thirsty, desperate, cracked. That's what happens when a woman like you walks away. Your presence fed his soul. But now your absence speaks louder than words ever could. So rise now, beautiful woman. Stop waiting to be remembered and start remembering who you are. You didn't lose him. He lost himself when he lost you, and that is a wound he'll carry forever. Affirm this truth and drop it in the comments. He lost more than me. He lost the version of himself that only I could reach. Queens, type it proudly. We are here, working hard to give you the lessons that make you unshakable, unforgettable, and truly irreplaceable. Number 7. She became irreplaceable the moment she stopped trying to be remembered and started remembering who she is. Have you ever noticed how he stops remembering the woman who begged for his time, but never forgets the one who suddenly stopped showing up for his approval? The moment she stopped trying to be remembered by him was the same moment she started remembering who she truly was. And that's when everything shifted. Because no woman becomes irreplaceable by chasing. She becomes unforgettable by returning to herself. At first, she gave everything. She waited on replies. She second-guessed her own worth. She twisted herself into versions she thought he would choose. But what he didn't realize was this. Every time she made herself smaller to be loved, a part of her spirit dimmed. And when she finally got tired of breaking for love, that's when her light came back stronger than ever. There's a quote that says, "She remembered who she was, and the game changed." That's not just a quote, that's a full transformation. When she stopped fighting for a spot in his life and started building a life of her own, she became a woman he couldn't stop thinking about. Why? Because confidence leaves a scent. Self-love lingers like the echo of a powerful storm, and the kind of woman who knows herself, that energy is magnetic. Think of a lighthouse. It doesn't follow ships. It doesn't flash brighter for attention. It just stands, steady, radiant, guiding. And when the sea gets rough, when the illusions break, he'll remember the light he once ignored. That's the kind of woman he never forgets. Not the one who tried to prove she was enough, but the one who walked away and proved she didn't need to. This is not just about becoming attractive in his eyes. This is about becoming unforgettable in your own. And when that happens, everything changes. You stop asking why he left. You stop wondering what made her more appealing. You stop shrinking, because now you know he didn't leave something ordinary. He lost a one of one, and that's on him. So rise, Queen. The moment you stopped trying to be remembered by him was the moment you became unforgettable. Not because he chose you, but because you chose you. And that's the lesson he'll never unlearn. Write this in the comments and claim it. I remember who I am, and that's what makes me unforgettable. If this message awakened something in you, if it reminded you of your fire, then like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to bring you life-changing truths, because queens like you were never meant to chase, you were born to reign.